Breaststroke is the world's most popular stroke, but few people swim it efficiently. The secret isn't how you pull and kick, but how well you glide below the surface in a long, sleek streamline. On this DVD, TI founder Terry Laughlin will demonstrate Breaststroke for Boomers, which we've designed for swimmers of any age or those with less experience or skill. TI coach Stefan Bill demonstrates Speed Breaststroke, an advanced version for those who may be younger or more athletic. And finally, several Total Immersion coaches show you how they practice our drill sequence. Our step-by-step instruction will lead you almost effortlessly from the most basic drill to swimming the whole stroke comfortably and without fatigue, and give you the foundation to swim with unprecedented speed and power. You'll learn faster and easier if you take the time to thoroughly understand each step. Learn to do each skill with ease, flow, and coordination before moving to the next. Let's begin learning. Hi, I'm Terry Laughlin. We're at my home pool and we're going to do a breaststroke lesson. I'm not a natural breaststroker. It took a long time for me to learn, even to get my toes turned out, but I felt progressively better, and at the age of 55 I actually feel like a breaststroker and feel like I do it better than I ever have in my life. So we're going to show you the steps that enabled me to get to the point where I feel like a breaststroker. Before we start learning breaststroke skills, let's examine how all the parts should work together to make each stroke more effective. Your lowest drag, highest speed position is streamlined just below the surface. This tells us two things. One, you want to spend as much time as possible in that position. Two, plan every other part of the stroke, how you pull, kick, and breathe, to allow you to return quickly to that position. Fortunately, streamlining is easy to learn. The first key is to have your head between your arms. The second key is to avoid diving and streamline barely below the surface. The arm stroke has two phases, outsweep and insweep. The outsweep provides little propulsion. Its job is to position your hands for insweep. Your outsweep should be unhurried and relatively relaxed. It's essential to keep your head and legs streamlined throughout. Also, keep your hands well forward of your face during outsweep. This makes it easier to return to streamline. Propulsion begins when you turn your hands in. Concentrate your energy here. Focus on spinning your hands forward to streamline. They may still sweep under your chin, but this will return you to streamline faster. Spin your hands forward as quickly and as cleanly as you can. Fast elbows on insweep help accelerate your hands forward. The insweep lifts the head and shoulders. That's our natural opportunity to breathe. Rather than lift your chin, keep your head still and breathe when natural lift clears your mouth. Keeping your mouth near the surface and gaze downward helps you return to streamline faster and more smoothly. How you return to streamline also makes a difference. Move your head forward between your arms, not down, to channel your momentum forward. And return your head to streamline at the exact moment your arms come together to maximize that momentum. Finally, remember to exhale while in streamline. Your kick should synchronize with every other movement. As insweep lifts your shoulders, it also makes the knees bend, naturally initiating the kick. This lift also creates a low drag surface from shoulders to knees as your legs bend. A fast in-sweep helps snap your feet toward you. You don't need to use leg muscle here. When your body line begins to shorten, move as quickly as possible, returning to streamline. To aid that, keep your kick compact and quick. Don't try to grab a lot of water or push it too far. Snap your feet forward and back in one cat-like movement. As you thrust, hips, not thighs, should provide most of the power. And feel your leg thrust accelerate your hands, head, and torso back to streamline. Then keep your legs streamlined tightly the entire time you're underwater. So let's begin our stroke building lessons. Okay, our first exercise in breaststroke is going to be to introduce the hand sweeps, because our most important skill in breaststroke is returning to a long streamlined body line. That's what we'll focus on here, is starting in a long body line, sweeping out, and then returning to that streamlined body line. The two most important things I do here are move very gently and keep my hands as far forward as I can. Think of a Y position when my hands are spread, and an I position when they're together. I pause at Y to set my grip. I pause at I to emphasize streamline. I take my time going to Y. I add speed returning to I. I also experiment with how wide I can reach and still control the water. Stefan flutter kicks to stay in place in the current. You can do this in a regular pool to maintain momentum, but kick gently if you do. Experiment with setting your Y as wide as Stefan's. My object here is to start imprinting a habit where my hands return forward, and just as they get to full extension, my head returns to a good streamline between my arms. So I'm going to do that subtly here, even though there's no breath. Pausing at my widest point helps me decide how far I should outsweep. Here, I consciously streamline my head between my arms. Your legs may sink, as mine do. The next step will correct that. Notice how subtly my head streamlines between my arms. Just that slight emphasis on returning my head to streamline as my hands return to streamline cause my body to dolphin a little bit, and the more dynamic movement moves me down the pool in fewer cycles. Alright, so I'll do that one more time, consciously return the head to streamline, and you can observe that I move a little further on each of those arm sweeps just by adding a conscious movement forward of the head into a streamline. My head movement is as gentle as my arms, but it's unmistakable. I streamline it between my arms as I extend forward. When you do this, direct your head forward, not down. By moving his head forward, Stefan initiates a dolphin in his body. Now we'll add the breath. I'll do it infrequently. I'm going to need a little bit of current because as I let my head come up for the breath, the movement becomes more dynamic yet. So in order not to get to the other end too fast, I'll need a gentle current. But the main lesson for me in this step of the exercise is to feel when's the natural time in the movement to get the breath, so the breath isn't